Well, it's taken me a lot of time, but I think I finally have all of the parts and pieces that I need to start building my bull pen. So today, instead of tearing stuff down and just preparing to build the pen, we're actually gonna start doing it. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Just gonna try to put everything on the big trailer here, and then we'll hook this up to my New Holland tractor, and we'll use that to take everything over to the ranch. The reason that I'm using the New Holland instead of the truck or something is because I know that I'm going to need my post hole digger on that tractor to dig holes for all the posts that I'm gonna try to get set in the ground today. Before I load this up on the trailer, since these 20-footers are almost impossible for me to move by myself, I'm gonna go ahead and cut them down and we'll load them up. I think that's everything that I'm gonna need today. My problem is by the time I get everything loaded up, I'm half wore out. Well, I just showed up here at the ranch, and wouldn't you know it, it was actually on the drive over here I started remembering tools that I'd forgotten, and the two main ones are my level and my string, and sadly I really can't do anything without those. So I'm gonna unhook the trailer and leave it here and just run the tractor back up to the shop, grab those things, and then I think we'll be able to get started. Okay, I'm back down here at the hog barn. I think I've got all the tools that I need. So the first thing that I need to do is to figure out where this middle gate post is going to go, because as I've sort of planned this out in my head, a lot of what's going to decide where the other posts go depend on where this one is. So the first thing that I want to do is take some measurements and sink this one in the ground, and then I can measure off of it to figure out where the other ones will go. Well, I'm afraid I might have dug that a little bit too deep, so what I'm going to do is put the post in there and see how tall it is once it's in the ground. If I did dig too far, then what I'll do is I'll throw some rocks and concrete in the bottom and then put the post on top of those, and it won't be a big deal, but it's just, you know, one more thing. So let's I'll go ahead and drop that in. We'll see what it looks like. That's really not bad. It's not as bad as I was afraid it would be, but I'm thinking, okay, so what I'm thinking about here is if it's too short, you know, I mean, obviously I'll be able to walk under the cross pipe, but I'm thinking more about when I need to drive tractors through here. I just want to make sure that I have plenty of headroom. I'm not always having to duck every time I drive through that gateway. So I think, you know, I will just go ahead and throw a couple of rocks in the bottom of this hole. It should pick that post up about 4 inches, which isn't much, but I think that will be enough to kind of make the difference. Oh, he's a big boy. There we go. All right, I got this old piece of asphalt here. It's nice and flat on the top. It's a little rough on the bottom, but I think this will be perfect. Take 2. Oh yeah, that looks better. Hope the cement mixer still works. I haven't used it in a while. There it is. I've got one more post that I need to put in right here to connect this fence line back over to where the bunk line feeder is going to be. And as per usual, I'm second guessing my design and kind of thinking of things I should do differently as I'm building it, which is not the ideal way to build something. But I'm thinking that instead of going, let's see, from this post straight back to the roof post, which was the original plan, that because I have enough material, I can sort of come out and make this more of like a sweeping corner or a rounded corner instead of just a straight line. It's looking like right where I've got this brick on the ground is about the center, and it'll give this sort of a nice sweeping corner. Now why bother do that? Why not just run it straight across? It'd be a lot easier to lay it out that way. But the reason that I'm doing it is that, first of all, it's going to give the bull or bulls a little bit more square footage, and you know, anywhere I can squeeze that in, I'm trying to do it because I want them to have plenty of room in here. My thought is that when I pull in with the tractor to set a round bale in here, that I'll probably want to back out turning this way, so it'll be nice. You know, this fence line will kind of follow my track where I'll be going, so there won't really be any wasted space on either side of the fence. The other thing is that when I cut the angles on the pipe to fit it up to the posts here, it's going to be a little bit easier on me because I'm not having to cut such a steep angle. So I'll minimize the chance of having gaps, but also since I'm using 3x3 square for this post and for the other post, if I have a really severe angle on the pipe, it's not going to fit on this tubing. It's going to hang off over the side. So then I'll be left with the task of filling holes and trying to make that look right, but you know, also for the purpose of keeping wasps out of there. That'd be a perfect place for them to make a nest, and we don't want to provide that for them. So I think this accomplishes a couple of things, and that's what we're gonna do. I think you can start to see, or at least I can see it, where the perimeter of the pen is going to be. So the bulls will have not a whole heck of a lot of room outside here, but when they're in here, they'll get morning sun when they want it, I think, and then, you know, it'll be kind of a nasty time of year, so I imagine that they'll spend most of their time under the cover here. I've got 2 more posts that I need to put in this line to finish this out, and sadly for me, I think they're going to be hand diggers because I don't think I can get the tractor in here. This roof, the header on the barn here is just a little bit too low. I don't think I'll fit, so I need, well, we're going to have a post down here at the end, and then I'll just kind of split the difference and probably put one in the middle here somewhere, and then everything on that side will be bunk feeder, everything that way will be pipe fence. Over here on the other side where we got this is the first post that I put in, I'm gonna have to measure this way to figure out where the other one's gonna go, because that's where the Powder River gate is gonna be. So the spacing on these posts is quite critical. I want to make sure that that gate swings through and doesn't have any problems. From my sort of preliminary measurements, it looks like the new post is going to go about right here where the old one is. So I still need to tear all this stuff down. I kind of drug my feet on tearing this down just because I didn't have the pieces to replace it yet. But now that I have them, there's no sense in leaving this up. We can get this tore down so that I can finish out this line here. Now the spacing between the first post I put in and the second one I put in, because there will be a gate here, remember, so that, you know, the bulls can get into the pen. But this spacing didn't really matter because I'm going to have to make the gate that's going to go right there. So, you know, I can just sort of custom make it to fit there. I think that's about 9 feet, which would have been an oddball size for a gate to try to buy. So I think I would have ended up building this one anyway. But it's late and it's hot, so I think I'm gonna call it here for today. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.